What is up? My name is Garrett Yogurt on Twitter, YOGRRTT. Thank you so much for tuning into the Now Notation YouTube channel. Welcome back to another album review. Today we're talking about Sueco the Child, Miscreant, debut album from the Californian rapper, producer, and it was released through Atlantic Records, which he signed with back in March, if I'm correct, via the kind of breakout single via his TikTok sensation Stardom that blew up earlier at the beginning of this year with the song Fast. That song just kind of took over the children's airwaves, as well as just the dancing phenomenons that hitting the whoa in 2019. I'm sure that was fantastic. I'm sure that lended a lot to the people, because if you think about it, if there are no semi-okay yet catchy songs to go onto TikTok, is there anyone on TikTok? You know, it's like if a tree fell in the forest, did you hear it? Or does anyone hear it? Or what the fuck my dad used to tell me back in the day. Still not funny, Dad. Still not funny. Just putting that out there. Still not funny. You know, it's one of those things. If these type of songs don't exist, does TikTok exist? And I don't know who's fueling who, but it definitely, TikTok has definitely given people such as Sueco the Child, such as Baby No Money, such as Lil Nas X, great platforms to kind of thrive and kind of give them leverage to finding a record deal, finding people to kind of fund projects. And here we are getting a debut album that released on September 20th, 2019 from this man, Sueco the Child. I'm going to jump into the track listing real quick, and then we can kind of get into the content of this album. In short, though, I definitely do recommend it. I definitely do recommend that you check it out, especially if you're just a fan of this new kind of style of rap that is coming up, where it's just like, I don't know, a lot of music that I am hearing are kind of emphasis on like the droniness, the fucking monotonous, like sounds that just kind of bleed into the background, but also do have like a really cool mood and tone and you know, sometimes catchiness to it. But I will say that Sueco the Child definitely does not just ride one style on this thing, and I was caught being pretty surprised with how he fills out this 8-track project. But track number 1 is Came In, track number 2 is Dork, track number 3 is 626/305 Asterisk. Track number 4 is No Sleep in My Body. Track number 5, Sober. 6, Probably. 7, Novocaine, Smiley Face. And 8, the single I've been talking about is Fast. Most of these do not have lyrics as of the time of this recording on genius.com, but that is where I'm getting this track listing. And I would recommend going to go check out his Genius breakdown of the words of the song, of the words on the song Fast, the Fast song's words, the words that were fast on the song Fast. All of that I would definitely go recommend checking out, because that is the video where I realized this guy's funny, this guy has personality, this guy isn't as like lost in his own mind as like some of the way that this album portrays it. Like, I would not be surprised if this guy had 4 brain cells in some cases. But the way that he's talking about it, the comedy that he interlays in there, like, just like, it's very well thought out, the way he presents himself. And I think the team around him is a good team to have if this is what you're going for. It's very much based in this meme culture that we're living in, but I think it is also trying to like break out of that. I mean, if you look at the fucking cover art, it's him on a giant pink flamingo, you know, suntanning, sunbathing with one of those old school fucking reflector, you know, fucking things that you think that you'd put up in your fucking car, but nah, it's for white ladies to fucking get a little bit more tan, focal in the sun. You know, no problem, no hate here. But you know, when you look at that, like, how is anyone gonna quote unquote take this serious? And that's not necessarily the point. It's like he almost welcomes you to judge it by the cover, and then is allowing you, kind of like how I was as the audience, to kind of discover and kind of be surprised by the content on the actual album. And I think everything that he does on this is at least fun, is at least interesting, and at the very least, even if it isn't the best sounding music, the best quality of music at times, I do think that this does show that this meme rap thing can kind of expand and can kind of like find its own little spot in the genre. And by calling it meme rap, I'm not trying to sell it short. I'm not trying to like put anyone in a fucking box, because there's enough diversity and enough uniqueness on this project to just kind of shut that argument up real quick. I'm just saying meme rap as a way to just kind of circumference this whole weird wave that we've had since Tekashi 6ix9ine. And you know, if this is another product of that, and this is one that just kind of works and is just fucking, you know, proof in the pudding, then sure, I think this is a cool extension of that leaf, of that branch that hip hop is kind of like finding itself in through TikTok, through the children, like, you know what I mean? Like, kids really do dictate what blows up. Look at Old Town Road, and like, I mean, if you can kind of look at that market and just kind of capitalize on the tools and on the airwaves and on like the different like promotion tactics that you can use on the internet, like, why not use that? And Miscreant is kind of a product of that. Track number 1, Came In, is probably my favorite track on this thing. I think that is the best example of him using his voice, as well as just kind of like doing this whisper rap thing, and like that little flow is just so infectious, and it almost sounds like his mom busted through the door and was like, "Hey, we're trying to fucking sleep over here." And in his head, he's just like, "But I have a hit, mom. Like, I gotta fucking do this." So, and it's fire. It works. It really does. And, you know, he also does show off some of his melodic tendencies on there. And that's where I was first like, damn, I actually like what he's doing. Again, it's not the most traditionally good sounding, like, melody, not the best vocal performance like you'll hear all year, but it definitely does work for what's going on. Dork is one of those things that I didn't enjoy at first, but it definitely has grown on me over time. Me and my roommate, Greg, Baby Flex Films, were talking about how I'm a big Baby No Money fan, and this literally just sounds like a Baby No Money song if Baby No Money just took a lot of pressed pills and just slowed the fuck down, and all brain cells were just no longer there. And at first I wasn't a big fan, but then when I understood the reference that my roommate was making by saying that, I couldn't stop laughing, and I couldn't stop like just being like, damn, that's exactly what this is. It's almost ridiculous, and it almost makes you feel like you're slower than you actually are. And that's like the cool thing about this, is like when you're listening to it, I almost catch myself like mentally like just taking a step back and just chilling for a sec and just letting the music hit you in the face. And like the enjoyment that I found doing that is really unique and really like not something I don't even know he wanted to have happen. But Dork is definitely like a fucking euphoric experience in my opinion. Going on to 626, that's 305. That beat is something that you think I would enjoy, but it isn't. That song's okay. I get what he's doing. It's kind of like the most hype song outside of Fast, and that's what's interesting about the album as a whole to me, is like the two sides of it and how he's really just not writing the same sounds that made him quote unquote blow up or popular or got the attention of labels. Even though I think there's an interview where he says that there's a label who was interested in him before Fast, but really he documents Fast as being the thing that put him on the map. But you know, and then once you go after 626, 305, you're really just in this fucking like euphoric experience where he's talking about like having sex, dealing with like getting drunk a lot, but also struggling with being sober, finding the right moments, not necessarily remembering the last night. The sexual undertones on this whole project is some of the funniest, weirdest imagery I've heard in a long time. So I do want to shout that out. Just lyrics alone, you're probably going to laugh a couple times, and you're probably going to be like, what the fuck is this guy on? And then when you look up a picture of him, or you just look at the fucking album cover, you're like, this all makes sense. But Sober, probably Novocaine, I think those, even No Sleep in My Body, those all play back to back really well, and they're almost like their own independent EP. And then you can kind of look at 1, 2, 3, and 8 kind of like as its own separate tonal. So there is like a tonal shift, and it's just like kind of like he's making a point like, hey, I can do other things, and I'm really gonna just shove these 4 songs in your face back to back to back until you get to the point where you're ending the whole album with Fast, which is like supposed to be familiar to his already fans, but it's just like feels like he's really driving home the point that there's more artistry here, and that it is legitimate, and that it should be looked at as something that's interesting and something that is trying to at least break out of the mold of being a typical meme, SoundCloud, TikTok rapper, and here we are. And I think Novocaine is the one that does that the best, and I would add that to my standout tracks. I think that is where his vocal performance and his ability to just kind of show off his aggression, his heart, his like need and thrive, and how hard he's working. I think those pains, struggles, as well as successes and just celebrations all kind of just come packed into this one little like drive of meaning on that song. And the little smiley face on the title also makes me kind of laugh. But and then Fast, of course, that's a fucking banger. That's a fun ass song. The beat's infectious. The way he's writing it is infectious. It's just so like toned back, and that's again like where you find yourself just kind of like, I'm able to just kind of slow down and just fucking enjoy it. Like nothing's too fucking out there, but it's so different and so new and so fresh. And, I really do look forward to more songs like that, but I do, again, appreciate what he did on this project, showing off a couple different dualities of who Sueco the kid is. Sueco the child, sorry, he's not a kid, he's a fucking child, and don't you ever get it wrong, and I will not, never, no, Thank you so much. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of Miscreant by Sueco the Child. I appreciate all the support on this channel, truly and wholeheartedly. Y'all have been crazy. Y'all could subscribe if you want. We're trying to make a push to 500. That'd be awesome. Pretty fucking wild in my opinion. But regardless, thank you so much for all the support on this channel. You can follow me on Twitter at YoGarrett, YoGRTT, Instagram as well. Now in rotation on those 2 platforms as well. Take care of yourselves. Again, I love you. Thank you so much. And that is all, folks.